What's up? What's up? This is Still Abdul Inc. here from, as I dub, Studio X. We are still off location with some family here doing our stream. So shout out to everyone in the chat. Just want to make sure, let's see, we got everyone in here. Appreciate, again, the Patreons who's been supporting the platform. The link is in the description for that. And also the PayPal link for those who support the platform that way. And YouTube has a super chat now. This is going to be a unique opportunity today because we got that special guest coming back. We got Dr. Jeff himself from Samba TV. What's going on
hey,
today?
So, not much. Thanks for having me back. This was a lot of fun last time. We got lots of new fun stuff, updates to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been really, my viewers, they're really big on the analytics and numbers and, definitely hardcore DC Snyder fans, but you have some interesting Mandalorian information and, how it relates to other Disney Plus shows. So excited for that. So we got you back. We're going to kind of jump into it. Now, first, let me just double check who's in the chat real quick. We got some Samba TV love right here, just right off as soon as you came on the screen.
I love it.
So appreciate Jessica coming through. Yoving's excited. Everyone's excited for these updates right now. As I said before, Dr. Jeff, when you was on here, I reached out to Katie, the communications person with Samba TV. Very, very cool person. Shout out to Katie bringing this together for the second time. Yep. She was like, basically with the SnyderCut numbers, which were really good, the first week, that y'all kind of integrated the black and white edition as well with your data. So we're going to be very interested to see just, an update with that and kind of talk about quarter one. Now, as we do that, Dr. Jeff, just kind of update people because there's Samba TV is like that new kid on the block, right? Like the trays, they don't know how to really, translate what y'all do and, properly. And what counts, just so the viewers kind of can get caught up here, what counts as a view for Samba TV? Like, how do y'all track your information, just, as general as possible, for the viewers here?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have technology inside of millions of smart TVs around the world. We're mostly talking about US, UK viewership today, but we do work in a number of other countries as well. We have technology inside many different smart TV brands. You turn on your TV. If you want to opt into our service, share information with us about what you're watching kind of automatically in the background. And then we can give you, recommendations and cool stuff, as sort of the partnership between you watching TV and us, getting that information from you. Now, as far as what we can track, what we're talking about when we talk about viewership, we can try to figure out what you're watching, anything that's on the screen. So if you're casting from your phone and it hits your big screen, that's cool. If you're, watching on HBO Max, that's cool. If you have a Roku, if you pay Comcast, any of that kind of stuff, if it's on the screen,
Xbox,
that's right. All of those different flavors. If it's the image on the screen, we use our ACR, our automatic content recognition technology, to try to figure out what is on the screen. And so our usual definition for a viewer of a program or a movie is, did you watch 5 minutes of that movie or program? Any 5 minutes, doesn't have to be the first, could be the last, could be 5 random minutes if you really feel like it. And so, for maybe a 4-hour movie, maybe that's a little bit short, but at least, that's consistent. We're very open about it. And that's our official metric. And so, 5 minutes, any 5 minutes of a program or a movie, that's what we're going to count as a viewer. And then what we do is we track, millions of these TVs around the country. Unfortunately, I can't buy a Samba TV for everyone in the US. I can't convince them all to then opt into our service. And so what we have to do is we have to actually project up using our research panel to represent the entire population. So when I talk about, in the first 39 days, 3.7 million households in the US watched the SnyderCut, that's using our scaled up, modeled version of the entire population of the US. So, we look at how many Samba TVs actually watched it that we can track, and then we basically scale up from there and basically match the census data nearly perfectly once we do that projection. And so, I see some stuff on Twitter and social media saying like, oh, well, they only have a few million households. How can they get this right for the whole country? My team spends a lot of time and energy and effort trying to be able to map up and project out to the entire country so that any number we say is representative of the US population or whatever country we're talking about.
Great, great. Like, and I appreciate you saying that. By the Beard of Zeus says, I enjoy companies that don't hide the numbers.
Yep.
Samba TV is going for those numbers, right? So that's really great. So you said that scale up aspect, which I really didn't talk to you about that earlier. So that's very interesting that y'all take the number, units y'all have, and y'all can really project with your analytics like the full number. So what was the number? You kind of threw a number out there. I hope the viewers caught that. But for the SnyderCut 30 days, what did you get?
39 days. So this is through last weekend. Okay. We kind of wanted to do it through last weekend. So 39 days, 3.7 million US households, 1.4 million UK households is what we got for the viewership.
Awesome. Awesome. So 3.7. Now, it's very interesting, that number, Dr. Jeff, because there was I wish I had that. It's another chart floating around that tried to aggregate all the different outlets, including Samba TV, and give us an idea. And they had like a 3-something type number. So very interesting that the analytics are kind of matching up with with what y'all doing. I know y'all hardcore with your data, right? So so 3.7 I think is very good for a 4-hour film.
Oh yeah,
right,
for sure.
Which is major. You know what I'm saying? So so we're going to dive into that more, how that kind of matched up with different programs in this first quarter. Now I know I mentioned to Katie, I was like, what about that Justice is Gray edition, right? Is that factored into this 3.7?
Yeah, so what we're sharing is the combined number for anybody who watched the color or the gray version. And the reason that we didn't want to break it out separately is the way that our content recognition software works. It's basically fingerprinting, running an algorithm on the image on the screen effectively. And so it takes into account things like, shapes and colors, obviously, as you might imagine. And so, what we've seen in dark scenes, it's hard to tell the difference between color and black and white. And so, I could have pulled the numbers separately, but I wouldn't have been as confident in those separated numbers. And so I put my foot down and said, I want to give the most accurate number that I can. And so that means that we're going to have to combine those two versions.
Gotcha. So that's very interesting that y'all kind of combined both of the black and white and the color version as well to really get a complete number. 3.7 is what y'all kind of centered on for the SnyderCut. Very interesting. So we're going to, again, go further into how this kind of compared to other programs, because that's kind of what people want to realize. And I think this is, again, the number you put out there right now, that chart that's floating around on social media, it gives a lot more credence to what other people are trying to put together for that number. So let's see. Skyrap says the first 39 minutes. I don't know if you said it. Is that a figure you put out there? The first 39 minutes? I think you said first 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
So 5 minutes of the program or of the movie. If I misspoke, I apologize. But I meant the first 39 days of the movie. So it got released March 18th. So we pulled data from the release date through basically this past weekend, the 26th of April. So Monday. So through Monday, and that's the first 39 days of the movie being out. So
gotcha. So very interesting. And really, just in your opinion, Dr. Jeff, is that I don't want you to have to compare this to everything in the world right now, but just is that pretty good for a first month and a week, a 6 or 5, 6 weeks or whatever for a program? Is that pretty good, just in your opinion?
Yeah, that's looking really good. You just pulled up our state of the viewership. We just released this yesterday. We've been putting out these really big quarterly reports. So this one focuses on Q1, January, February, March of this year. And we do actually have a page in there that compares a whole bunch of movies that were released to streaming in the first 30 days. So Justice League is in there. We don't include the 30-day window because technically that goes into Q2. So you'll have to wait for the next quarter report, but I gave you the number. But the 3.7 million total beats almost every movie, all the big movies that we looked at. Really, the only 2 movies that the first 30 days or so beat it are Soul and Wonder Woman. And Wonder Woman 84 we talked about last time, kind of similar, vibe and audience, obviously. But the thing about Soul and Wonder Woman 84, they both came out on Christmas. So they are massive Christmas Day releases. They had huge viewership. But you compare it to a bunch of other movies from Q1, things like Borat 2 or The Little Things on HBO Max, Tom and Jerry, Judas and the Black Messiah, Mulan, streaming on Disney Plus, and all of those, like I said, except for Soul and Wonder Woman, all of those were beaten by Snyder Cut here.
Yeah, so it's pretty major, and we're going to get right to those breakdowns. Definitely a good prelude to what we're going to get into, because this state of viewership. But it's just going back what you just said. That 3.7 is basically that's top tier as far as what you saw.
As far as movies being released, to streaming services or available for video on demand watching, it's absolutely top tier. I mean, it's top few, not even top tier, like a top few. Yeah.
Awesome. And then that scale up option, which I was like, wow, I didn't know y'all did that. That's pretty cool that y'all can project what it would have been, just encompassing everything, not just your units, which I think people, again, it's about taking in the information, because you kind of said that, Dr. Jeff, that people say, well, Samba TV, everybody doesn't have Samba TV, right? But y'all can literally project beyond even the unit. So very cool.
That's
so
right.
Let's get into these viewership numbers. But first, actually, Reese says, I don't know if you can say that, but the algorithm doesn't work with illegal streaming.
So if you have a Samba TV and it's opted in, our algorithm is going to be running. It's going to be trying to figure out what's on the screen. If you have a good enough illegal stream and it's high enough quality, we'll probably match to it.
So, all right, anything that comes across that screen, if you're opted in, they can track it. That's just point blank. Whatever device you want to use, Chromecast, Xbox. I mean, like I said, Dr. Jeff kind of encompassed all that with the numbers. And 3.7 is a nice round number. Now, did y'all tweet that out? Because I don't remember seeing a tweet about that upscale number.
I don't think we have.
I don't know if I've seen that.
We just pulled. You know what? I think this is what happened. So we just pulled it on Monday, like I said, because it encompassed viewership through this last weekend. And as you might imagine, the last few days have been a little hectic getting the final touches on this gigantic report that we'll talk about. And so, we've had a few tweets of some things come out. I think the Falcon and Winter Soldier finale we tweeted about, and a couple of other things. But yeah, I don't think that updated Justice League Snyder Cut
that's breaking news.
So breaking news here with you, Phil.
News. There we go. 3.7 is the number. Everybody tweet that out. Snyder Cut, 3.7 million. Now this is encompassing. This is just the states, or is this UK?
So the 3.7 million is just the US. We also looked at the UK, and that was another 1.4 million households.
Awesome. And I think Sky came out with a report similar again to your number. That upscale features that y'all using there it appears to be pretty accurate for people who's following the numbers, social media. Very excited to see what y'all do going forward with that, because people try to. I'll just tell you what the streets are saying, Dr. Jeff. They try to say your numbers are limited and it's like a limited window, but y'all are going another level with that upscale. So 3.7, y'all. In the States, Snyder Cut, just, I'm saying, I'm going to round it up to 4 million. I'm just saying that. So let's get into this. And also, shout out to UK. They showed out. I think that 1.4, I think is what you said.
Yeah, 1.4 million households.
Awesome numbers.
Yep.
Awesome numbers with UK. They really represented. And as right before we went on air, Dr. Jeff, the Warner Brothers UK was pre-ordering physical media for the Snyder Cut, right? And they said it's sold out in 20 minutes.
Wow.
They said it's sold out. They have to totally restock UK.
Okay,
ridiculous.
that's awesome.
The Snyder Cut is a worldwide success. That's the whole point. Danzig, tweet that out, Danzig. They'll let everybody know the official numbers from Dr. Jeff here. So let's get into this quarterly report. I think the first thing that jumps out to the viewers here is that you got the Snyder Cut right there. You got Godzilla vs. Kong. You got the Snyder Cut right in the middle.
If you now look on Samba TV's Facebook page and Twitter page, and I think the Instagram page, like our banner now has, I think the pictures are Wonder Woman, Superman, Wanda Maximoff, and Godzilla. I think that's the top line of characters now on all of our social media. So very cool.
Awesome. Awesome. So that was the first thing that caught my eye as a biased viewer of this. But I want to jump right down to the chart because Katie sent me this the other day, and I was like, let me dig into this, right? So I went straight to the direct to streaming numbers, right? Let's look at how this compares. If you want to just kind of update what we're seeing here, we're seeing the household viewership. You see the SnyderCut down there, second from the bottom, compared to other streaming services. This is tracking the opening weekend. Is that correct?
This is tracking. So we're showing sort of both. The darker bars are the first 3 days, and then the longer bar is the first 30 days. So you can sort of see the opening weekend, and then the total is the first month, basically.
Right. And just like you said, pretty much the SnyderCut was, on par. Like I said, Borat, I think was a really big hit for Amazon Prime. I'm a big fan of Amazon Prime in general. The Little Things was up there farther than I thought it would be. Really surprising with that. It did really good. It had a nominated supporting actor in Jared Leto. So it had a big push. On HBO Max. Tom and Jerry was a pretty strong opening weekend. And again, I'm just going by opening weekend. Very solid. And then you got Zack Snyder's Justice League right there. Kind of in that, as far as with the viewers, we hate to say mid-tier, but let's be honest, Godzilla vs. Kong was a major smash, right? Just from what y'all tracked.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, Godzilla vs. Kong was pretty major. And I know, like I said, people... we compare different things, and say I love all genres, and so I get it. Godzilla vs. Kong is an international monster, right? And but Soul, according to your numbers, did the best
for the opening
what y'all tracked in this past quarter. Opening weekend, followed by, like I said, Godzilla vs. Kong, Wonder Woman 84. Interesting how y'all map that out. Now, you said earlier, you gave us a preview teaser to next quarter. You'll have the 30-day mark, which you kind of told us now, for Zack Snyder's Justice League.
That's right.
But we'll see how that stacks up with everything else.
It'll be great to compare that to Godzilla versus Kong, and Mortal Kombat just last week was a huge smash hit as well. So lots of these streaming movies are doing incredibly well. So
definitely. Let's see. I don't know if that zooms better. Let me see. Yeah, we'll keep it like that. But if y'all expand y'all screen, y'all see what we see. So as far as with, let's double check the chat real quick here. Again, Danzig or anyone else, tweet out that 3.7 number. I'm going to say 4 million because I'm biased for the SnyderCut. And let's see, 3 million for Canada. Now, I may have asked you this last time, but Canada, you're not tracking Canada yet, right?
Not yet. We're sort of in the process of ramping that up. So maybe in the next quarter or two, we'll start putting out some of those numbers. But that's high on our list of sort of next countries to start getting the data, putting it out there, doing the measurements as well as we can.
Great. So very cool. Again, Samba TV. I mean, you put an interesting wrinkle with the whole upscale feature. That intrigued me for some reason. I don't know if it's just because we're just gonna see what y'all do with that. That's very interesting. So very cool with Samba TV. How y'all break down again the analytics, the households, the ethnicity, even. Very cool how y'all break that down. We're gonna get down to let's see. Let's briefly take a trip through the cinematic universe, Dr. Jeff, and we're going to Star Wars and Marvel. So Disney Plus basically is what we're going into right now. Now, WandaVision, it had a lot of critical buzz very early with that show, and then Mandalorian is like a monster hit. According to this chart right here, WandaVision started off pretty good, was really, trying to go beat the beat with Mandalorian. And then it was a point where Mandalorian went to a different stratosphere.
Yeah.
according to this chart right here.
Yeah, definitely. Those last couple episodes of Mandalorian of the first season, it had gained enough buzz, or people heard enough about Baby Yoda, they wanted to check it out. And, we started to see that sort of picking up at the end of their season. Yeah.
Right. So if people know, if they're following this chart, that top line is, I guess, the purple line. That's Mandalorian. WandaVision is the reddish line there. And like I said, WandaVision was very solid, but Mandalorian was such a smash success. very good comparison for two successful shows.
Yeah,
overall.
and I mean, so what I found super interesting about this slide, specifically, is if you scroll down just a little bit and you see the same chart on that page, but for the United Kingdom. So you've got the UK where WandaVision is more popular. Okay. Yeah, that one. Right there. Right. Yeah, so in the UK, WandaVision had more viewers. In the US, Mandalorian had more viewers.
So it's totally flip flop in the UK.
Yeah, so totally different, which I was surprised by. Is it MCU versus Star Wars fandom, or I don't know what it was. Right. But I was really surprised to see that.
Interesting. See, I looked at my bias, from the States mind, that first chart. I didn't even see that second chart. So really cool. Now, as we go forward, Dr. Jeff, I want to welcome to the panel. This is I call him the Scooper Supreme. We got Mikey Sutton from GeekOcityMag.com jumping in here as well.
There.
What's up, Mikey?
I'm doing well. Hello, Jeffrey. Nice to meet you finally.
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
I heard so much about Samba TV. You guys have been the only enlightenment for many people in the dark out there about the SnyderCut views, because obviously Warner doesn't want us to see it.
Definitely. So we got Dr. Jeff on the panel, and then we got Mikey Sutton as well. Mikey, if you notice these numbers they showed right here, the States love The Mandalorian more than WandaVision, but in the UK, total flip-flop. WandaVision ruled on Disney, I guess Disney Plus, right? For over Mandalorian. Is that kind of surprised you, Mikey, seeing that?
Yeah, that is surprising. I guess Marvel is even more popular in the UK than we knew. I thought it'd be a total opposite. I thought it'd be more Star Wars fans over there, but
Marvel is taking over the world. That's taking over the world.
Yeah, a large part of that is nostalgia towards Star Wars here in the States. Really had a huge impact.
Right.
And speaking as someone who saw it on opening day, the first movie, so I know for me personally, it had a huge impact.
Star Wars. So you're going way back on this.
I was in line.
So good to have Mike. So good to have Mikey on the panel. We're going to go through these numbers again. This is a Q1 report for Samba TV, giving us, just hard analytics and numbers, right? So DC Face Off. I like how this title says here. Let's get right to it. Wonder Woman 84 versus SnyderCut, right? Just according to, again, the Christmas numbers, like Wonder Woman 84 was a huge success on Christmas. It had a great start. It looks like as we get towards the end now, if you can explain to me, Dr. Jeff, as we get to kind of like level 2 and 3, the SnyderCut was gaining ground with this Christmas Day movie.
Yeah, so the L's just mean live. And so this is sort of an old TV term of live plus same day, which basically means from when a show or movie is released until 3 a.m. local time the next day. So it's sort of, you can think about it as live or maybe a few hours after it gets released. And then L plus 1 is live plus 1 day, live plus 2 day, live plus 3 days. So this is basically the first 3 days after the premiere plus that premiere date. And so we're showing the cumulative household viewership. So how many total unique households are watching per day. So they're always going to go up and to the right. But the thing that you noticed was, Wonder Woman started off, above the SnyderCut. It stays above the SnyderCut. But those last couple of days, you see it sort of level off. So there was a lot of hype, a lot of people watching it in those first couple of days. But even by the third day after release, it's starting to level off. Whereas SnyderCut seemed to continue gaining ground, gaining more and more new viewers as time was going on.
Interesting. It's like a rocket going. Like you said, like really after that live 2 day, Wonder Woman 84 kind of leveled off. I think everyone saw it on Christmas Day or the day after. And then the SnyderCut just kept going up and up. And Q2 we'll see. Good preview what we'll see next year. So just make sure everybody realize on this chart that pink or red line, I don't know. That's Wonder Woman 84 up top there. SnyderCut is the blue line, jumping up to meet her. We'll see Q2 what happens with that. So Mikey, that's
pretty impressive there.
Yeah,
because I'm just wondering. I know it's hard to tell from just an objective analysis here. Just wondering if that's because of word of mouth is positive and it's making it trend upward, or is it just people hadn't finished it yet. You know what I mean? It was a 4-hour film.
Right.
So as long as the household watches at least 5 minutes, we'll count them as a viewer, and we'll count them basically the first day that they watch those 5 minutes. So as long as you watch at least 5 minutes, if you stop and then wait a couple days, you'll count on that first day. Is basically how we calculate it. So I think
these are new viewers.
Yeah, so these are new viewers, and so to your point, Mikey, I think it really is word of mouth. We see that a lot. We see that a lot with movies and shows where shows that you kind of people watch it, it's popular, and then you forget about it, have that kind of leveling off. Whereas stuff, especially around like award-nominated movies, they might get released, you don't hear about them for a while, and then they get an award nomination or they win an award, and then we'll see another kind of jump up in the viewership because people hear about it, like, oh, I want to watch Nomadland or Judas and the Black Messiah or something like that.
See, I know theatrically, word of mouth is everything.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It can have a great opening weekend, but the second weekend it can tank if the Rotten Tomato score is bad.
Yeah.
We saw that with Snyder, Dawn of Justice. That's why it disappointed Warner Brothers so much.
Word of mouth, right.
Had a great opening weekend, but the second weekend it took a huge dip. What I'm seeing here is very impressive for SnyderCut.
Up and away. That's what I see right there.
Nice, very nice.
Definitely. And this is just the U.S. numbers, is that right, Dr.?
That's right. Yeah, I mean, this report is huge already. We could have put in tons and tons more stuff. We didn't want to put in the kitchen sink, but yeah. So we're just showing those first 3 days after premiere just for the U.S.
So everyone that's tweeting out again that 3.7 number, the number that Samba TV is putting out there is their upscale viewership for the SnyderCut 39-day viewership. Very awesome in the U.S. only. Also, we can say that the word of mouth was wonderful going through day 3 of the premiere. Awesome stuff. What's up, Mikey?
Yeah, man, that's objective analysis there. You see it right there, it's right in front of you. And if you look at Wonder Woman 84, that's really shocking because a film that huge shouldn't dip like that. You know what I mean?
Day 2.
I mean that's pretty sad because usually that should be much higher than that. I mean, like people couldn't see it in theaters. This was like their way of seeing it.
Right.
To me, the word of mouth on that seems a little lackluster. But trending downward like that, that's not good.
Interesting. So, and again, Mikey's thoughts is only his. It's not Samba TV's thoughts. Just want to make people sure that.
It's my reading.
So I want Dr. Jeff. Want to turn your attention to this super chat right here with Daniel Lazaro. $2 super chat says, "How many active users on Samba? If you can answer that, and why only 3 days?" You kind of touched on that, but if you want to answer this.
Yeah, sure. So in the U.S., our research panel that we're doing these measurements off of is about 3 million households. And the only reason we're showing 3 days here is it's sort of just opening weekend. Again, sort of thinking about sort of box office numbers. People talk about the opening weekend. That was the reason.
Exactly. And that's kind of what you put out there. We just want to make sure, if people following in, he's definitely, just talking about opening weekend, which again, comparing this, I mean, it's to compare it to a Christmas Day movie. I think it's actually unfair.
I agree. Christmas Day versus March 18th is pretty different for a movie watching. Absolutely.
But to see that trajectory, I'm really excited to see that next graph for quarter 2. Just personally, we got Raya in the chat. What's up, Raya? So let's go further with this. Very, like I said, eye-opening numbers. Now, Dr. Jeff, if people realize on your website, Samba TV, I think anyone can request this chart, right? That we're looking
absolutely.
at.
Yeah. You can go to follow us on any of our social media or go to samba.tv. And anybody can download this entire quarterly report. It's got tons of great information about, we're talking about a lot of the superhero shows and movies, streaming movies, sports stuff that's been on TV in the first quarter of the year. And then some overall trends looking at, TV commercials and advertising across a number of countries. And we talk about March Madness, DLW. Absolutely. Right. We talk about some overarching trends, just really high level. How much TV are people watching? How much, cable channel versus broadcast channel versus premium movie networks like HBO and Showtime, and then the streaming stuff as well.
Awesome. So very, very enlightening, really seeing this, side by side. I mean, y'all were very just honest with the numbers. Like, hey, there were some huge opening weekends this past quarter, and you see how the Snyder Cut fits in with those other huge weekends. I mean, very, like I said, very cool for the fan base to see this. And like DL Dub says right here, it was March Madness weekend, and the Snyder Cut this trajectory was going up, up, and up. As Jessica says right here. So gets us very excited. Yeah,
I know from theatrical releases, the opening day is obviously the most important. I mean, it tells you a lot of the excitement level, people coming in. But it's the Sunday, the third day, it kind of gives you an idea of what the future is going to be like. Because the word of mouth from Friday and Saturday, if it's bad, that Sunday is going to plummet.
I'm going to go back up to it. Actually.
So I'm kind of seeing that with a 3-day here.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of this is an abnormal chart, really. Just looking at the trajectory, like Mikey just said, usually it's the opening Friday, Saturday numbers are kind of like Wonder Woman 84. And then it lows out by a Sunday. If you're talking about box office, if you're talking about box office numbers, But the fact that it's literally just shooting up, and the word of mouth is there. Yep. And that's pretty cool. Very cool to see. For that. So let's take a detour again. We're going, like I said, Dr. Jeff, we're going all cinematic universe. We're going everywhere. I know this channel, we're hardcore DC, but we like Star Wars. We like a little Disney Plus, right? So let's compare, because this is going to be interesting. I want to tie this into the Snyder Cut if we can, Dr. Jeff. That top line, that purple line, Falcon and Winter Soldier did bonkers. Opening, let's see, the premiere episode, right, is what we're looking at right here. And the bottom line
premiere episode, similar to the chart before, where we're looking at the total viewers, counting the total from the beginning over that first weekend. And we do see the sort of number level off as we kind of expected, like we saw for Wonder Woman 84, but just the overall numbers for Falcon and Winter Soldier premiere is pretty massive for a show.
Right. Go ahead, Mikey.
Hey, even if it leveled off, it still looks pretty consistent. It doesn't look like it's kind of like it kind of remained the same there. Like it went up to a certain point and just kind of became a straight line. Whereas
see if we get Mikey back in here, but definitely, I don't people. If you don't know Dr. Jeff, there's industry people that try to take out Mikey anytime he talks. So that's just what it is, right? But was very cool, like he was trying to say, is WandaVision. It seems like, and I enjoy both of these series that's up here right there. WandaVision kind of had a slow start, in my opinion. It picked up great steam like in the middle of the series. Maybe that's another conversation we can have as far as that series. But
one of the things that I'll point out about this, these two shows, separate from sort of the movies, is these shows both came out weekly, and so we're seeing people that are waiting till the end of the season to binge the whole thing in a day or two. We're seeing people rewatch previous episodes right before the new episode comes out. So, this is a really small snapshot of just the premiere episodes, just the first 3 days. But we have looked at, we've seen, tens of thousands of households that are watching all of the Winter Soldier, Falcon Winter Soldier episodes right before the finale, like just in that last day. We're seeing all kinds of combinations of that kind of viewership when you have the staggered release of shows, but people still like to binge, right?
Right. And so Dr. Jeff, I'm not sure if that's in this quarter one chart here, but if you can give us an idea what happened with those binge numbers for Falcon and Winter Soldier, like after the 6 episodes was out, did everyone was there another group that rushed to watch the series towards the end?
Yeah, so we saw several 100,000 households in the U.S. kind of watching Falcon and Winter Soldier episodes for the first time, like weeks after they had first come out. So again, sort of that idea of waiting a few weeks and then binging a bunch before the last episode or the last couple episodes came out. So we saw a pretty significant number of households doing that.
Wow. So hundreds of thousands, can we say like half of millions of thousands?
My notes say several 100,000. So that's
okay. I tried to pin you on a number. I'm sorry, Dr. Jeff.
That's what my notes say right here. Yeah.
I think it's significant enough for them to note that too. But so, Mikey, as we see right here again, it seems like the buzz. I'm actually going to give credit to WandaVision for hyping up Falcon and Winter Soldier before it came out. Is that what you kind of see, Mikey?
Yeah, I can see that as well. But there's also a lot of excitement for the MCU in general as well.
Right,
I
right.
mean, you can't beat having those characters on a TV screen. Um,
Hmm.
especially there has been no theatrical MCU films in well over a year now.
Right,
It's
right.
been a long
Exactly.
time. Like
We're
since
clamoring.
Spider-Man was the last one, I believe.
Wow, was that really
Yeah,
far?
was that
Far from home?
was that 2019? I mean, it's been a
Oh my
while.
God, yeah, that's insane. What world are we living in here? So we were looking forward to our superhero genre, and like I said, I give a little credit again, like Dr. Jeff says, this is a snapshot of just a premiere episode
Mhm.
of these series. WandaVision, had a modest start and it picked up, but I believe that hyped up. They got people ready for more. And Falcon Winter Soldier kind of took it another level there. So very interesting seeing again these comparisons, and I appreciate you kind of bringing us these trajectories with the superhero genre of everything here. So looking forward, actually, I think this is probably better. So looking forward to quarter two. We got Alex Acera coming with the super chat. No 199 super chat. No hopeful, but vindication. So as far as so Dr. Jeff, I'll just let you know here. So with the SnyderCut fandom, right? There's a lot going on as far as will the story continue, will it not, and things like that. Warner Brothers, HBO Max, they haven't really directly came out, even with the numbers that you just showed us today, right? So people didn't know, like, was it a success? How did it match up? Like, what did it do? This is showing this was really a smash hit opening weekend, and the trajectory, we have no idea where it landed. After that first weekend, we'll find out, the next report here. So, and I want to reiterate, Dr. Jeff, if you could tell the viewers, you are factoring in both the original version and the black and white version as well, right?
That's right. That's right. So yeah, if you watched either or, if you watched them both, we'll count you, once as a viewer, and that's how we get to that 3.7 million number for the US.
Awesome. And so, Mikey, seeing that, and actually, maybe it's good to kind of keep that track because that kind of shows again this trajectory. It's pretty wild seeing this. Maybe that black and white version, which I think came out, and the chat will correct me if I'm wrong. I think 2 weeks after the original version came out, we got the black and white version. Maybe it was sooner, but someone will let me know. Maybe that helped that viewership keep going up and up because you had two versions of the SnyderCut. That's a win for Zach, right? Either way, Mikey, right?
Yeah, I got a question for you. Objectively speaking here, not in any way subjective, from your expert eyes and you being familiar with all the research and everything, how would you grade the performance of the SnyderCut so far? If you were to objectively grade it based on the numbers that you see, would you call it a success? Would you call these really good numbers for that type of project?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah. Still, if you want to scroll back up to where we compared all those movies, like I said, we didn't add in the 30-day numbers for SnyderCut in a couple slides. So, yeah, that one in that chart, just because the 30 days went into Q2, so you'll see it in the next report. But 3.7 million. Yeah, that's for 39 days. I don't know what the 30-day number is. It's only slightly less than that, I think.
And SnyderCut second from the bottom, just so people know.
Yeah, but so looking at 3.7 million over 39 days is compared to these the full bars for all of these movies are 30 days. And so, SnyderCut did better than everything except Soul and Wonder Woman 1984. And yeah, this isn't every movie that was released onto streaming, but these are the biggest ones of the last two quarters.
Right.
So it's absolutely a success. Yeah.
Yeah, because people are just wondering, like, was it a success? Was it not? It's like they just need some kind of objective statement, because there's all this noise out there and people are speculating. But to have the hard numbers in front of us and have somebody, an expert like you, grade them, that means a lot. Because we're certainly not getting anything from Warner. They're not saying anything, whether it's good or bad. Well, what is it? Thank you for that. That's excellent.
That's a great comparison, like you just said, Dr. Jeff. That just if you look at those completed months of the Christmas Day movies, that's really like it's the trajectory is up to that point right after the Christmas movies for a full month plus release. Very, very cool. Dan Lazar with the $2 super chat says, what was the average view length, if you can reveal, Dr. Jeff?
Yeah, so in the US, we saw that the average view length for the movie was 197 minutes. The whole movie is 242 minutes. And then in the UK, the average view length was 225 minutes. So almost the entire film. So it looks like the Brits have a bit more patience or are willing to sit and watch a bit more longer of the movie on average.
Shout out to the UK. I was gonna say UK is like one today. I think they're pretty awesome support for the streaming and the physical media as we saw.
Yeah, apparently that's great.
So Dr. Jeff, if we have you for a few more minutes, I'm not sure. I didn't ask you before your time.
I can stick around. Sure.
Okay. So if there's any last minute comments or questions for Dr. Jeff, Senior Director of Samba TV, we're going to kind of give him a few more minutes for a question here. Then we'll transition if people may want some scoops from Mikey or something like that after that. But going into this, you mentioned Dr. Jeff again, Falcon and Winter Soldier, a good influx towards the end. Towards that series, was that similar with the WandaVision show? Did that kind of have a trajectory towards the end of that series as well?
So we didn't actually look at that. So I'm not sure. We definitely have the data. I could go back and take a look, and maybe we can chat about it through Twitter or something. But that's a good question. I would imagine so. If I had to guess, I would say probably, just because we do see that with a lot of these shows that are, especially when they're not that many episodes, 6 or 8 episodes. They're kind of they're released weekly. We do see a lot of those people waiting until the very end to binge watch or rewatch earlier episodes before the new ones premiere.
Definitely. So Jovic is asking here. You kind of answered this, but Dr. Jeff, you used to retreading information, so we'll have fun with it for a minute. It says, is it important to stream the movie every day? Dr. Jeff, what do you say to that?
So when we release our numbers, we're looking at how many unique households are watching. So if you watch it every single day, if you just have it on loop on your TV, we'll count your household as one in that 3.7 million towards that total. If you want to just add the total number of minutes that have been watched, that's sometimes a number that we look at, then streaming it every day will help. But as far as what our total numbers look like, it doesn't matter how many times you watch it, we'll count you as one toward that total.
Right. So repeat views, didn't really matter in these charts. Maybe it translated to the directly HBO Max or however you watched it, but unique households is what Samba TV does.
Yep.
So very cool. Everyone's really appreciating it. It's just this data. We're data, famished here, Dr. Jeff. We need something.
Thank you for feeding us.
so definitely, and UK, and that it was really cool because I can say if I brag for a moment, I'm mutuals with Samba TV on Twitter. Right, they're my mutuals now, so I've moved up in the world. But I've been following all the charts, and as soon as they tweeted out the UK numbers, I was like, UK must have been pretty good, must have been pretty massive, like from the beginning. I think was it 1 million like the first weekend? I think that's what we touched on, or close to for UK.
I think I have that here. Let's see.
I thought I had it up here as well, but it kind of showed the quarter. But UK did pretty massive. It may be on the thumbnail of my my video.
We got it somewhere. I don't.
It's
have
about,
that right
it's about 900K or so for first opening weekend UK, and pretty solid. Because let's be clear about this, Dr. Judd. This was UK was not HBO Max. This was purchases through Sky Cinema, which is a platform. So these are people buying basically rentals of the Snyder Cut. And the bulk of that happened the first weekend. I think it was pretty major.
Yeah.
Sky made some money with that. There. So let's give people a few more moments if there's any last minute comments or questions. And again, Dr. Jeff, at any moment, if you got to tap out, just let me know.
No worries.
Because we're hanging now. We're hanging with Samba TV and the scooper, Mikey Sutton as well. So we'll take the last few minutes of comments and questions before we head out. Let me see what we have here. Again, everyone is thanking you.
Yeah, this is fun. I love it.
And again, your website again, because people, and hopefully they tweet out again that upscale number. I think that was pretty brilliant that you brought that up. But if people want to find this chart again, Dr. Jeff, where do they need to go?
Samba.tv is our website, and you can get it there. The easiest is probably going to Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, Samba TV, and you'll see all of our that's basically pinned to the top of all of the social media right now, and it'll be up there for easily accessible for until the next quarter comes out, basically.
Great. And I will say personally, Samba TV is a pretty good follow on Twitter. I had some good interactions about Mortal Kombat. So let's kind of talk about Mortal Kombat a little bit.
Sure.
If you have any early numbers, maybe we're cheating for quarter two, but what compared to, let me go back to this chart that you directed me to before.
Yeah.
Comparison. If you just were to kind of guess, because I know I didn't ask this beforehand to Katie. Where do you think Mortal Kombat will kind of fall in with this? Is that near like the 2 million mark, or like closer to Godzilla vs. Kong?
So the opening weekend for Mortal Kombat last weekend, 3.8 million U.S. households. So it dominated everything on this chart. It beat Godzilla vs. Kong. It beat everything on here. Yeah.
Oh my god. And wow.
What's even more ridiculous, I think, is that in the week before, we saw over 100,000 U.S. households watching actually watching the original one from the 90s and the sequel from the 90s, which was Annihilation. Yeah, Annihilation. That's right. That's right. So yeah, we saw over 100,000 households watch the first one, and 114,000 watched the second one over that same opening weekend. And so people were just itching for Mortal Kombat this weekend, I guess. Something.
Interesting. That's pretty cool that y'all can kind of pull. Again, it's whatever comes across the TV, right? So y'all were able to kind of track, people prepping, it sounds like, for the new Mortal Kombat. Really, really cool. Really cool. Let's touch on that. Let me see. Danzig says, what are the future plans for Samba TV in terms of reach? You touched on Canada, but if you want to answer that, Dr. Jeff.
Yeah, if you look in our State of Viewership, this quarterly report, we show a bunch of results for US, UK, Germany, and Australia. We're planning to expand from there on out. Can't give too many more details beyond that, but stay tuned for adding more stuff.
Someone's moving to England because you track them. So, Scrap says, will you know numbers of China? Is that even possible?
Definitely can't comment on that.
Right. That's a reach there for various reasons. Danzig says, can you estimate numbers in the advanced base on consumer trends? Good question, Danzig. What did you say, Dr. Jeff?
It's a really good question. These are kinds of questions that, me and my data science team, talk to each other about over beer. Like, hey, I wonder if we could do this. So these are definitely the ideas that we're kicking around and that we're playing with. So stay tuned, follow us. These are the kinds of things that, we'll, not only tweet stuff about, but we'll write technical white papers on. And so we have some of those on the website as well, if you want to get into the real nitty gritty of how we do some of the modeling and some of the estimations that we do for that kind of stuff.
Interesting. So a hot program right now, I think, with Amazon Prime is Invincible.
Yeah.
Dr. Jeff, I didn't see that on the chart. Did that kind of track at all with y'all?
So I really like it. It's a great show. I think it's awesome. I haven't watched the finale yet, so no spoilers.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
But, we haven't put out any numbers on Invincible yet. And so stay tuned. Follow us. We can't tweet every single show that everybody wants, but interact with our social media and put in your requests. We happily take requests. Awesome. And we won't promise every single one, but we want to know what the people want to know about.
Awesome. So that's pretty cool. I think that's a pretty awesome show. Again, I don't know the viewership. I mean, just to be quite honest, maybe that was a little more obscure than people probably really. I'm not sure. So we'll see.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I felt like I heard some word of mouth, but not a ton. So yeah, I'm not totally sure on that one.
We got someone. Do you hire on your website or?
Yeah. Samba.tv/careers. Let me just make sure I'm like 90% sure that is the right website. We're hiring for all kinds of roles for account management roles, operations, engineers, data scientists, IT, all kinds of stuff around the world in our offices. So Samba.tv/careers. There you go.
Interesting. So right now at this moment we have about 158 in the chat. We only got about 60 likes. If we can close this out with I don't know if Mikey Sutton has a little tease that he wants to get. I don't want to put him on the spot, right? But if we get up to 100 likes, maybe Mikey will spill something. We'll see. But I'm gonna give y'all a few more minutes to do that while we have Dr. Jeff here. So let's see. Jacob is saying thank you for answering.
Yeah, of course.
Don't forget, definitely follow Samba TV. I had a really cool interaction with them about Mortal Kombat. Though some people. So Dr. Jeff, have you seen a new Mortal Kombat personally?
I have not. I have not seen it. A couple of my college buddies really liked it. We have our group chat. They said it was good, but I have not seen it myself.
Yeah, I have fun with it. Mikey, have you seen it yet?
No, not yet. I'm still catching up with a lot of shows. I will though eventually.
Gotcha. I know Mikey's so busy, but I mean, I thought it was a fun movie, right? And I know I guess it's some polarizing takes on it, and we'll see. Either you hate it or love it. I think at this point from Mortal Kombat, but the viewership was there. I mean, people take it or leave it. I'm just saying. I know Samba TV does not have an agenda. I'm going to assume you all, Dr. Jeff, you all don't hate the Snyder Cut, right? I just want to put it out there.
No. I mean, I definitely watched it, and I'm happy to report the numbers. Just reporting the facts, and it did great. That is, like we were saying, that's an objective fact. So there we go.
Awesome.
That's it. So I mean, that's there. Go ahead, Mikey.
No, you're saying that all this time, really, what was needed was an objective voice to give it a grade, because everybody's trying to figure out. There were other numbers that were coming out, and they're like, okay, what does this all mean? Like everybody's trying to analyze it themselves. But it's great to have somebody on the inside like you, put some kind of grade on it, which is absolutely fantastic.
Right. Right. So basically, Dr. Jeff, like you all have the holy grail of numbers with the Snyder Cut.
Seriously.
I mean, we have the biggest TV data set around the world, and we can do these kinds of analyses. Yeah.
Awesome. So appreciate you being here. Senior Director of Samba TV. And Katie, if you're watching, shout out to you as well for setting this up as we round this out. Now, because we may round this out because I don't have enough likes yet. I'm just, I'm not trying to be selfish here, but we about 80 likes. I'm just, I got to hold y'all to that. So we got Clint here saying the first 12 minutes of Mortal Kombat was great. The first opening scene, let me see. Both of y'all haven't seen it yet, right? So,
right.
Yeah. I'll just wait till y'all see it. All right. So check out that number. So, so any, I guess what's, actually someone asked a question. I already know the answer to this, but I'm going to allow Dr. Jeff to touch on this. Do you hope to be able to work with Netflix? That's the hot question every time you hear Dr. Jeff.
I mean, we're sort of independent of all of these companies, which makes us, a good independent, source of truth. We have technology inside of the smart TVs. We have, we're in 20-something, over 20 brands around the world. And we get, information of what's on the screen. So, whatever source it's coming from, whatever platform, we're going to, get that kind of information. And so, if a streaming company or somebody wants to, commission us to do a study or wants to work with us, we're gonna report these numbers. These are the truth that we're gonna get, right?
Awesome. So, like I said, really good to see. Like Mikey said, just the bare facts. That's all. I think people should go by, and you can have your objective reasons after that. But so Dr. Jeff, again, Senior Director of Samba TV, I guess what's next for this platform? I mean, every trade is kind of giving a hot take on every number y'all put out, and every publicity is good publicity, I say. But what's next? What do y'all have kind of going forward here? Just going forward.
I mean, I think a lot of the stuff that I'm really interested in right now is, we saw so much streaming at home in the last year because of the pandemic of, the number of subscribers to all these services has increased. The number of people watching both movies, first run theatrical movies and these streaming shows has increased. Is that going to be sustained as the country, as the world opens back up, as we get to go back into theaters and see movies safely, as more shows get, come back onto TV, as shooting schedules and production ramps up again, are we going to see people kind of stop paying for Disney Plus and HBO Max, or are they going to keep paying for it but not watch as much? That, I think, is a really interesting question. Are these changes here to stay? Our bet at Samba, I think, when I talk about this with people in the company, we think it's here to stay. We think that this was an inevitable change and it just got accelerated. Right. But we're going to be measuring that kind of information and try to see, looking back over the last year, are we going to see, a drop in the number of people watching streaming in general or not? I think we're going to see it sustain and grow even more, but we'll have to see.
Definitely. I mean, I like how you put that as far as, streaming was always the future. I believe streaming. Yeah. But like I said, it accelerated. Like, Mikey, haven't we been kind of hearing this from people in the industry? Like, it was an inevitable change, right, Mikey?
Yeah, it is. And, AT&T, from what I've gathered from people I've talked to, their focus is really on streaming. HBO Max is everything to them. And I think the global pandemic kind of really made the importance of streaming more obvious, right?
Yep, definitely. That's an avenue, and like I said, I think these numbers, they may stay the same or even go up, in my opinion, going forward. So Royal T says here, how would SnyderCut fare streaming as opposed to theatrical release? You kind of put a formula out there last time, Dr. Jeff. I'm trying to remember on the fly, but to translate it.
Yeah, it's tough, and you got to make all these assumptions, which is why we don't, we put out the numbers we can confidently measure. If you want to take a guess at, an estimate of how many people per household you think watched the movie, how much each of them would have spent if they went, and bought a movie ticket, that's sort of the calculation one could do. But that's outside of our expertise, and we're going to put out the numbers of how many households watched it, and that's what we're measuring. But if other people want to take our numbers and run with it, then more power to them. That's awesome. We want to power those kinds of analyses and conversations.
Right, because with the household, which I really think is a solid number of household viewings, because it encompasses everything, everyone in the home, even repeat viewers. There's no way to translate how many people in this household will buy a movie ticket. Right. Right. Is it 3 or 4 people? If that's a common home, 3, 4 people. Right. So it's like, it's kind of, it's a slippery slope how to come up with a translation of a number there. We got Clint here, who's a contributor of our team, Dr. Jeff. If you haven't seen Super Team Megaforce, this is our team that we group up and talk nerdy stuff. He says we've had more streaming with limited content. What's going to happen when all these shows go back to normal production? Content should just keep getting better and better. I mean, it's all about these premium streamings, right? It just in my opinion, Dr. Jeff. Actually, I haven't asked you this before, but as far as like broadcast series compared to streaming, do you see a correlation, or is there like one better than the other?
So at toward the beginning of the quarter report that you've got up here, we do talk about what we call linear TV. So that's sort of your broadcast networks, your cable networks, sort of the first couple of pages, I believe, of the report go into that. And, we saw a lot of decreases, kind of overall decreases of so this is looking at sort of US and those other countries sort of overall, looking the amount of minutes being watched, the amount of people watching what we call linear TV, non-streaming TV. And, it's sort of flat to maybe down a little bit here and there, depending on the exact metric that you're looking at, the exact time range. I think a lot of this dip was from, sports is a huge driver of live TV viewership, of course. When you didn't have any sports going on during, parts of the pandemic, that drove TV viewership down. We saw that over the last couple of quarters. Similar to the comment here, right? When production was halted, we just didn't get a lot of new shows, streaming or otherwise. And so as production ramps back up, we're going to definitely see more content, both streaming and on linear cable channels and broadcast channels. So maybe we'll start to see that pick back up. That's possible. But the trend sort of overall has been people, watching less linear content and watching more of the streaming content.
Interesting. Now, just looking at this chart, because I didn't look at this earlier, I went straight to SnyderCut on the chart. But on here, y'all are marking the minutes, because I see the billions right here. That's really similar to Nielsen. You don't have to comment on that, but very similar to what Nielsen does with the minutes, billions of minutes. So I'm just assuming linear TV, y'all are just tracking a consumption of everything on broadcast television. Is that right?
Yeah, so we can do that for streaming or broadcast. You know, again, we can throw in everything in the kitchen sink into these reports. For this one specifically, we're looking at, the blue line is that average number of daily households. So that's kind of the number of households viewing anything on linear TV in the US per, sort of average per day for each of those months. And then the red line is, the actual minutes consumed. And so, it's sort of two ways to look at the amount of viewership. How many households and how much are they watching? And, what we're seeing is sort of both of those numbers are down since November. You get that peak in November. People were watching a hell of a lot of TV around the election season in the US. And then, it sort of started to tail off since then.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed is that comic book shows in general don't do that well on live television, but they do really well on-demand playback and DVR. And, I talked to a lot of people who work in television networks about this. And I said, like, for example, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had pretty poor Nielsen ratings, but the DVR and on-demand playback was really high. It would hit number one sometimes, like triple the ratings.
Yep.
But yet, a lot of the television networks, they don't treat that as seriously as they do the live numbers. Will there ever come a time where the on-demand playback and DVR playback is significant enough where a network can keep a show on the air because those numbers are so strong, even though the Nielsen's are poor? That's what I always wondered,
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I don't think I can answer the last part of that because I just don't know. What I will answer, what I will say is that, Samba's numbers, the viewership that we see in that sort of, that live time frame or the first week kind of after the premiere is sort of typical historically what people look at. And you're right, something like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I was a big fan of that show, big MC fan in general. And I would, I pulled some of our Samba numbers for that last season, and we saw not great, viewership live or even in the first week, but people did binge it much later, and and those numbers, those viewership numbers, did become pretty significant, like you were saying, Mikey. And so we're seeing that, we saw that a couple of years ago already, and we're like I said, seeing that even more now. That some of these, kind of linear broadcast, normal, like the Arrowverse on CW and all those shows are seeing huge viewership, weeks or months afterwards on demand on streaming platforms.
That makes perfect sense because some of these CW shows are on the air for years.
Yep.
And people see the Nielsen's like, why is it still on the air? And, it's because of DVR playback and then the on demand is, and also when Netflix gets the shows, they do really well.
Yeah.
And I think, as speaking as a comic book fan, I hate commercials. So I don't watch live. If Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s on, I don't have a Nielsen box anyway, but still, I think it reflects my Generation X mainly, and comic book fans in general. We're going to fast forward those ads.
Yeah.
You're right. So, exactly. Very awesome information again from Samba TV. And I think the hot thing going forward to quarter two is, first, obviously, did that line ever come down from the SnyderCut? I think it just kept going up and up, I don't think it came down at all, Dr. Jeff, but we'll see. But then the Mortal Kombat, that's going to be an interesting topic.
Yep.
Because you kind of put out the, the early numbers with that and how did that sustain, going forward. So, us nerds of these analytics, this is exciting stuff, all right?
Yeah, it's tons of fun.
Just get on board with this, y'all, all right? So, but now the chat let us know, Mikey, that we crossed 100 likes. So I'm putting you on the spot. You are the most wanted of Warner Brothers leaking their information. Anything you want to kind of tease out any cinematic universe? Actually, I don't know. Maybe if Dr. Jeff, if you're kind of interested in something in the cinematic universe, but we'll just kind of we'll put Mikey on the spot, and then Dr. Jeff, if you want to have a follow-up question, we'll give you time to do that. So, but Mikey,
I just want to hear what Mikey's going to share with us. Yeah, I'll take any of this.
Actually, that was a great build up, because I'm going to cut away for a moment to Clint. He said the $4.99 super chat. Got a dip, great string. Thank you, Clint. I appreciate you. That was like a Dragon Ball Z moment. So, Mikey, you're on the spot, as Same Sonic says right here. Mikey, what we got?
Okay, just give me a minute. I'm gonna go through my files. So I'll just give you a second here. Right back.
All right, so he's gonna prepare. But so Dr. Jeff, that's we wait for Mikey, because we put him on the spot. That's when he does that when I put him on the spot. So what, you in general, you said you're a fan of, you said a Batman fan, MCU fan. Have you got a chance to see the Falcon and Winter Soldier? Actually, as it aired.
Yeah, I watched every week. I watched it week to week. I didn't wait to binge. Awesome. So I'm all caught up on that one.
So he's part of that first bracket number, not the binge number. So were you kind of surprised that they announced a movie, or I don't know if it's even an official announcement, but it kind of leaked out that a movie is being developed. Captain America 4. What do you think about that?
Right. I think it's great. I mean, I'm super excited. I think like many people, I'm itching to get back into movie theaters when it's safe and see these kinds of movies on the big screen with the surround sound, with my friends, with snacks. And so, any kind of these big action movies and superhero movies and stuff like that is great. I think that the lineup for this current, new phase of the MCU I'm really looking forward to the Loki show coming out over the summer. And these movies, all these movies coming up, I'm super stoked about those. And awesome. I think there's going to be a lot of good stuff that we'll soon be able to enjoy safely in a theater again, which is going to be rad.
Yeah, definitely. I'm so ready to get back in the theater, and everyone, just take your proper precautions to get back out there in the theaters. I think that's the best experience, an IMAX screen of your favorite movie.
Yeah,
best way to watch anything. But we stream too while we're home. So TJ with the $2 Canadian super chat says those Green Lantern castings. So Dr. Jeff, if you don't know, there's a Green Lantern show coming on HBO Max where they have the whole Green Lantern Corps, right? And they're starting to do their castings. And of course, every castings. I mean, I'm sure you remember the time when Heath Ledger was considered a bad casting for the Joker, right? So we never know.
We never know. Right.
But someone was cast as for Guy Gardner, who's basically a jerk in the comics, and he looked like a nice guy.
That was a scoop of mine too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Mars the Long Box.
Nice.
2 years ago, I believe.
That's right. The Guy Gardner was going to be in a series, right?
Yeah, Guy Gardner was going to be in it. I'm just curious to see how they're going to portray him, though, because he is kind of a jerk in the comic book, and I'm not familiar with the actor they cast. Are you familiar with him still?
Right. No, I'm not familiar. When I saw him, I was like, I think people was putting his name out there for like a Nightwing type guy. But he was like this. Instead, they cast him as this jerk Guy Gardner. So interesting how that turns out.
Here's something. Here's something.
Here we go.
100 likes that came through. Okay, so there was news that broke this morning, and I'm a total eagle-eyed reader. So when I read a story, I'm always analyzing what's missing from it. Speaking as an experienced journalist, so. A story broke this morning that the showrunner of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier wanted to include Spider-Man in the show as a cameo.
Oh.
And point of the story, right? That he no.
Oh.
Now, where this question didn't say no. And
let's see if it straightens up.
Am I good now?
We'll give him. You're good now. Okay, so you're saying Spider-Man, the showrunner of what
the
show?
Falcon and
Winter Soldier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
he wanted to use Spider-Man in the series, and he said Kevin Feige said no. And so the articles were saying that Kevin Feige felt that there was no need for Spider-Man to be in the show. And, he wanted.
It wasn't.
There wasn't. It's just like a total.
Mm.
Just because it's a geek thing doesn't mean it's necessary to the story. And I'm like, okay, that's completely understandable, but that doesn't answer my question. Was Kevin Feige prevented from using Spider-Man on the show? So I did discover about an hour ago that there was nothing holding Kevin Feige back from using Spider-Man. In other words, Sony would not have said you couldn't do this.
That's interesting. Yeah. That gives me hope for everybody playing nicely in that universe in the future.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Which to me, my forward-thinking mind tells me that Kevin Feige is waiting for that right moment to put Spider-Man on the Disney Plus show. He's waiting for that big moment.
Interesting.
Like a bigger show, maybe, or most likely after No Way Home. Because there's no way he's gonna appear before No Way Home is out.
Yeah, yeah.
But the most crucial part, and I was telling people, these aren't these writers. You know, they're good writers, but they missed the whole point. Like, did somebody tell Feige no? Oh yeah, okay, Feige said no, but who told them no? Or was he told no? Apparently he wasn't. There was nothing stopping him. So blame it on Feige. He didn't want to do it.
So this is.
But you know what?
Yeah, Feige basically
he sticks to the plan. He never gets away from his plan.
Yeah.
You know, he's not going to do anything last minute. Hey, you want Spider-Man in here? Nope. I have a plan for him for 2030. You know what I mean?
Right. So this just further goes to the lore of Feige that he has full control of all these characters, right?
Pretty much. I mean, you know, it's very interesting, and to me, it bodes well for the future.
Yeah, that's cool.
Interesting. So Dr. Jeff, like, if you would have saw Spider-Man swing in Falcon and Winter Soldier, I mean, that would have been cool, right? But I mean, it wasn't needed for that story.
Yeah, it feels like it would have been a little gratuitous. I don't know how they would have made it work in a reasonable way. So I'm fine.
The red light would have gone further up, though.
Yeah. It might have pulled people in to watch more. Maybe.
Right, Ant-Man would have been cool though if Ant-Man showed up and like Falcon would have actually won that fight. That would have been cool. See?
That would have been a good rematch. I would have liked that rematch. I like Ant-Man.
Awesome.
But still a Mephisto. Though. I had Mephisto in there though.
Mephisto. Well, doesn't that mean though that Feige wasn't banned from using Mephisto? Like he could have used him if he wanted to.
Yeah,
I mean,
if he wanted to. Like I said, the guy has plans like a time machine. You know.
Yeah.
He's not going to get away from those plans.
Awesome. So, go ahead, Mikey.
Yeah, he probably knows what he's going to eat 10 years from now. Like 10 years from now.
He plans that far ahead.
2031 at 12 o'clock, I'll be at Subway. You know what I mean?
That's Kevin Feige. So we got TJ with the $2 Canadian super chat. As we wrap this up and round this out, Mikey's under attack as usual on Sit Up Do Inc. This is what happens. So we again appreciate Mikey being here, jumping in to tag team Samba TV today. So Mikey, we have a lot of plans. I think, let's see, are we planning a Sunday stream? Let's see. Yeah, Spider-Man Sunday stream with Mikey Sutton and myself. We'll probably the usual time, 2 p.m. PST, 5 p.m. EST. So we'll go on more details about that. So appreciate you being here, Mikey.
Yep.
Definitely.
Always.
And you dropped some nuggets for us at the end. And then the senior director of Samba TV, Dr. Jeff. I assume I'm going to reach out to Katie probably around when Loki starts, slowing down towards the end of the season. maybe we can get you back in a couple months here. I think
sounds great. Yeah. 3 months from now, we'll have a whole new quarter report, and lots of good stuff to talk about. So
I'll tell you, I think ahead. So
that's right.
Go all in right there. But appreciate you being here as always. It's always fun, and plus you're a fan of the genre that we talk about, so that makes it better.
Oh yeah, no, this is great. Thank you, Sil. Thanks, Mikey. This was awesome.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. So shout out to the chat here as well, those supporting the channel. Until next time, again, 3.7 million for the SnyderCut. Tweet that out.
Right.
For the States, 1.4 UK. And hopefully, if anyone from Samba TV's the social media manager, tag me in that tweet. I'll tweet this graphic out, all right?
That's right. There you go.
We out of here, y'all.